if you don't want anyone to see. Okay, and we're going to just start by muting everyone. And as I was saying, we're going to be starting looking at defense this week. And I'm going to start by looking at the opening lead and also look at the topic of active and passive defense. So let me switch to that screen. I hope you can all see that screen. And do interrupt me if you have any questions, unmute yourselves. We're going to be looking at different kinds of defense, and in particular look at the difference between what's called a passive defense or an active or an attacking defense, and when you should switch from one to the other. So if we have a look at this, a passive defense is one that's least likely to help declarer make extra tricks. So, for example, when the opponents have bid weakly and perhaps ended up in game or a part score, it's often a good idea not to give declarer a chance to make any extra tricks by the lead you make. Try to lead passively. And a trump lead, or a suit with no honours, can be a suitable passive lead. In those situations, you should try to avoid leading away from your honours. And if you have a holding like, for example, ace, queen, 10, XX, leading that suit would generally be thought of as a very attacking lead, one that could give away tricks to declarer, perhaps with the king or the jack, and it would not be thought of as a passive lead. So passive leads are often more attractive against suit contracts than in no trump. In no trump, we might go for a more attacking lead like ace king, like a card from ace queen 10 XX, but not against a suit contract. The reason is that if you lead that suit, you may well give away a trick to declarer, but you're unlikely to get many tricks back if they're playing in a suit contract. And also passive leads are often thought to be a better choice in duplicate scoring, which is what we're doing today, as you don't want to give declarer any extra over tricks. So those are some of the ideas behind passive defense. We'll look at some examples of these in a minute. And I want to contrast it with active or attacking defense. And that's where the bidding suggests that there may be a long, strong suit where declarer will be able to take lots of tricks. Or, perhaps more usefully, where once you can see dummy, you can see that is the case. If you see a long, strong suit in dummy, that's very often a signal for you as defender to try to grab any tricks that you can, or declarer may be able to set up that suit or take lots of tricks in that suit. And you need to take your tricks or they will disappear. Declarer, you won't be able to make them because declarer will run their long suit and discard all their losers. And it's more often to choose an active or an attacking lead against no trump. So that holding ace queen 10 XX, for example, against no trump, you would perhaps quite happily lead your fourth highest there. Even if you give away a trick, you hope you'll get tricks back if you or your partner are able to regain the lead. And attacking leads are often thought of as a good choice in forms of scoring where over tricks don't matter so much. So that's things like rubber bridge or Chicago or team scoring, where the over tricks are not so important. What's more important is a chance to defeat the contract. So that's not in this form of scoring, pair scoring, that we're doing today. So we'll look at examples of these. The other thing I want to mention, that there are some leads, like top of a sequence from king, queen, jack, or queen, jack 10, are both attacking leads and they are safe. That is to say, they are very unlikely to help declarer make any extra tricks, while at the same time they're setting up tricks for your side. So those are nearly always attractive leads in all situations. So if you have something like that, you should certainly think about making that lead, regardless of the bidding and regardless of what the contract is. Do interrupt me if you have any questions. I just want to clarify what I mean by taking into account the bidding, because there are certain kinds of bidding sequences that indicate that declarer has only just got enough for their contract. So, for example, if it's gone 1 no trump, 2 no trump, well, East has invited game, West has declined, so presumably they have something like 23 points between them, and that is a weak bidding sequence where you don't really want to be helping declarer make any extra tricks. They'll probably just manage to make their 2 no trump, but you don't want to help them. And similarly, 1 no trump, 2 no trump, 3 no trump is a weak bidding sequence, or perhaps even 1 club, 1 heart, 1 no trump, fairly weak. You generally want to lead quite passively there. Don't help declarer make any extra tricks. And the same applies in suit contracts. All these bidding sequences would probably indicate fairly weak bidding sequences. Either they've invited game and they've stopped in 2 hearts or 3 hearts, or they've just made it to 4 hearts. And again, in those bidding sequences, you generally want to lead fairly passively. Don't make a lead that will give declarer an extra trick. In contrast, a strong bidding sequence might be something like this: 1 spade, 2 clubs, that shows 10 or more points. 3 spades shows something like 16 or more. So the opponents here should have lots of tricks there, and you may well want to grab your tricks and make a more attacking lead there. Similarly, the second one, 1 club, if East has jumped, which should show 16 or more points. Again, you can tell from the bidding, if you trust their bidding, that they should have well over 25 points between them, and those are bidding sequences where you might choose a more attacking lead. And there are, however, many bidding sequences where you really don't know whether that's a strong bidding sequence or a weak bidding sequence, whether they only just have enough for game or not. So 1 no trump, 3 no trump, for example, could be a wide variety of hands. Similarly, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 spades could be fairly weak or strong. 2 hearts, 4 hearts, that could be a sequence where they have lots of tricks or maybe not. And another one, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades, 4 spades, you don't really know whether that's weak or strong. So that doesn't help you, but there are some bidding sequences where you do get a clue from the bidding as to whether you should think about making an attacking or a safe lead. So let's have a look at a few examples of this. Let me switch to this screen, and do interrupt me if you have any questions at this point. And let's have a look at this hand here where you are West. The contract is 4 hearts, and the bidding has gone 1 heart, 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 4 hearts. You're on lead, and you have quite a nice hand here, okay? You've got 3 tricks you hope are coming your way, 2 aces and a king, and you don't really want to be helping declarer by giving them any advantage by the lead you make. So what do you think you might lead here? Or do you unmute yourself if you'd like to volunteer an opinion?
A club?
Heart.
Yeah, well, if you follow what we've been talking about, you might be thinking of leading a club, but leading away from your king of clubs could help declarer make an extra trick there. It would be a fairly attacking lead, and it could well be that declarer will make a trick with the queen, which otherwise they would find hard to make. You have a safe lead here, and I would go for a trump lead here. It's very unlikely to help declarer, and you want to sort of sit back and take your tricks without helping declarer. So down comes dummy, and it's always a good idea to look at dummy, see if you think dummy's bidding was reasonable. Dummy here has got 9 points, so they were certainly right to accept the invitation of 3 hearts there, having previously shown 6 to 9 points. So the opponents, so you lead a heart, and let's suppose declarer wins that with a queen and proceeds to draw trumps. So he draws 3 rounds of trumps. Okay. And then he plays a club. And he's obviously finessing there. So you take your king, let's say, and now you have to lead again. Anyone like to suggest what you might lead here?
A club?
Well, you could lead a club. There is in fact one lead that is, you can see, is completely safe, that will not help Declarer make any extra tricks, and that's the ace of diamonds. Because you can see that Declarer will have to play an honor on that one. And again, having won the ace, you have another safe card here, which is not going to help Declarer, which is another diamond. Force them to win that with the king. All right. So they're going to lead now. Now they lead a club, and they take their ace, let's say, and they play a spade now, and you've got to decide what to play. And this is a moment you should have been thinking about since the beginning of the hand. You have the ace here with the king in dummy, and you should not play your ace. You should play second hand low here. If you play the ace, you are helping Declarer. If I just bring up the 4 hands at this point, you can see that Declarer, if you play your ace here, will take the king and the queen. But if you play low here, Declarer can win that one. But now if they play a spade back, you can capture the queen with your ace. So you're doing very well now. Now again you're on lead, and if we just look at the west hand here with the 8, you've won the ace of spades. You again have to lead here, and it's not clear what the best lead is here, but the one lead I would avoid is a diamond here, because dummy is void in diamonds, and if you lead a diamond and Declarer is also void in diamonds, they'll be able to rough in one hand while they discard from the other. So I would lead something else, maybe a spade or a club. It's very hard to know what to play here, but on this particular layout, your partner has the jack, and they can also cash their jack of clubs. And you can defeat the contract here. Declarer will make the rest here, but will be held to 8 tricks by your very passive defending on this hand. In fact, if I rewind the hand right to the beginning and click on the GIB button, it will actually say that you can defeat the contract if you lead anything except for a spade. The one lead that allows Declarer to make the contract is if you lead a spade, as it turns out. So it's very hard for you to know that, but all I'm saying, I suppose, is that a heart lead is a safer lead there, and it doesn't help Declarer. Anyone have any comments or questions on that one?
No.
Here's another one where the bidding perhaps calls for a fairly passive lead. It's gone 1 spade, 2 spades, pass. And you're on lead. And what are you going to lead here? Anyone like to suggest something? No volunteers. Or you're muted. A heart.
Jack of hearts?
Okay. I mean, if I click on the GIB button at this moment, it actually will tell me that there's no lead that will actually defeat the contract, but the best lead, which will hold Declarer to just making, is a low diamond. The lead of a heart gives Declarer a chance to make 2 over tricks. Okay, so I would not lead a heart here. Leading from a long suit is probably better, and I think I would lead my 4th highest diamond. So I'm going to lead a diamond here, the 4 of diamonds, and your partner plays the 10, and that wins the trick. So that's a bit of a surprise for you, isn't it? What do you think your partner's got in diamonds?
An ace.
Yeah. An ace and
a king also.
No, the king's in dummy.
Jack.
The jack, yeah. You should not be at all surprised if your partner, and let's switch to your partner, actually had the ace, jack, 10. So your diamond lead has worked out well. Your partner was able to win with the 10 of diamonds there. And what do you think your partner should play now?
A heart.
Yeah, a heart. Perfect, yes. Definitely not a diamond, because that will allow Declarer to make the king. And you generally want to lead towards into dummy's weakness. So the normal card from 3 cards without any honours is to play a highish card. So you play a heart back. Let's look at your partner's hand now. And if Declarer plays low, you can win with a 10. And now you can switch back to a diamond.
Diamond.
Okay, your partner can win with the jack. Your partner might play a heart back to you, capturing the queen with the king. And now you can play a diamond back, and your partner will win the ace. And so you're defending very well. You're not giving away anything to Declarer at this point. Let's just look at the 4 hands. Your partner might. The ace was rough. So Declarer rough there. And if we look at your hand here, your partner, Declarer roughed that ace of diamonds, and Declarer now leads a spade. And this is another moment where you should have been preparing what you're going to play here when a spade is played. Sometimes it's right to cover an honor with an honor, but here I don't think it is. Here, Declarer might well be planning to just play the ace and king of diamonds, but he's giving you a chance to go wrong, you a chance to hesitate by playing the queen there. And the right card to play is to play low smoothly without thinking. Now Declarer might lose to the queen, because he might try maybe finessing the other way, leading the king, playing a spade back. But you win the queen of spades there. And now again, you're on lead. Let's suppose you play a spade back. A trump lead is quite safe here. Okay. And Declarer now cashes their heart. Okay. And leads a club. And what should you play here? Well, you've been playing very passively up till now, but not anymore, because you can see that if you play low here, Declarer can win that trick with the queen, and you won't get any more tricks. They'll get the queen. And so this is a time for you to take your king now. Also, this is defeating the contract now. And then whatever you play, Declarer is going to win the rest of the tricks. He's got a spade and a good heart at the end. But you can defeat the contract there basically by playing fairly passively, except right at the end, you needed to grab your king of clubs. Do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions on this. And let's have a look at one more. So here, North opened a heart, you overcalled 2 clubs, South bid 2 spades, and North bid 4 spades. And I'm expecting my partner to lead my suit here. So they do. They lead the club, the 9 of clubs. Down comes dummy. And first question for you is, what do you make of that lead of the 9 of clubs?
The
It could be a singleton. Yeah, it's presumably a shortness, isn't it? Could be a singleton, could be a doubleton. That's what high card normally indicates, shortness. Now, in case it's a singleton, let's overtake it with the 10. Let's play the ace, and everyone follows. All right. So we've played 2 rounds of clubs. We've won 2 tricks there, and I'd like you to think, and I'm going to launch a poll in a moment to ask you which suit you're going to play now. Okay, so have a little think about it, and I'm going to launch a poll in a moment, and it's a question for East as to which suit should East play at trick 3? You've just won the ace king of clubs, and which suit are you going to play now?
Heart.
Okay, I don't want you to not answer verbally, but
Okay.
to click on the answer. Okay, we've had about 90% voted. I'm going to share the results with you. And the majority here have gone for hearts. 46% went for hearts, 27% went for spades, 15% went for diamonds, and 12% went for clubs. So let's have a look at the hand and let's try and work it out. So what do we make of all this? Well, let's see what we know about the club suit to start with. 2 rounds have gone, so there's 1 club outstanding, and it's probably in the south hand if my partner had a doubleton. The problem with playing another club is that although my partner could ruff it, for them to win the trick, they would have to ruff high. They would have to ruff with a high trump, the ace or the king. And if they have the ace or the king, they will probably win a spade trick anyway. What I see on this hand, apart from the void in clubs, is that strong heart suit. That heart suit is almost certainly going to be a source of 5 tricks for Declarer. And the reason I say that is that either, I don't know where the jack of hearts is, but even if it were in the west hand, Declarer could be able to finesse against it or to ruff the suit and establish a suit. So this is a suit, this is a holding where you've won 2 tricks now, and with that long, strong suit in dummy, you need to switch to an active defense. In other words, you're not going to win any more clubs. You're only going to win a spade if your partner has, for example, the ace or the king. You're not going to win any hearts because of that long suit in dummy. The only suit where you and your partner can win any tricks here is, I've put it to you, in diamonds. And you'll only win any diamond tricks if your partner has the ace. So the right suit to lead here is an active defense, and it is a diamond. And the right card to lead is the king of diamonds. And you may think it's a terrible risk leading the king of diamonds in this situation, but if your partner doesn't have the ace, if Declarer's got the ace, you're probably never going to make your king anyway, because Declarer will finesse against your king. Your only hope here is that your partner has the ace of diamonds and you're able to make 2 diamond tricks at least. So the correct lead is not a heart, but a diamond. So you lead a diamond here, and as I said, the right card to play is the king. Your partner gives you an encouraging signal. You play another diamond, which your partner wins with the ace. You may think that's too good to be true. And in fact, if they lead another diamond, you can ruff that one and you can make 5 tricks there. After that, let's just bring up the 4 hands. You're not going to make any more tricks there because Declarer will be able to ruff any clubs in dummy and has got good hearts and good spades. Okay, so you make the contract. You defeat the contract by taking your 2 diamonds. You switch, in other words, to a very active defense once you see that long, strong suit in dummy. Declarer will now just draw trumps and will take the remaining heart tricks. So we'll make 8 tricks there. Okay. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? Does anyone like to tell me why, after a number of people, after they took their first 2 clubs, they played a heart here? Would anyone like to tell me why they thought that was an attractive lead there?
Thought, we could finesse afterwards.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, if they played the ace and the king, and maybe with the queen you can finesse.
The Queen of Hearts.
Yes.
So I didn't quite follow that.
I mean, if they
Anyone
take,
else like to say why they thought the heart? I mean, it's just interesting to know why anyone chose a heart there.
I just chose a heart because I thought they're going to make that trick anyway. So I thought that was just maybe
Right.
like passive.
Yeah. Well, it would have been that's right. It was a passive switch. The problem is, if you look at the hands, Declarer's got 5 spades, 5 hearts. They can actually make another trick by ruffing the club. They'll make 11 top tricks. And the danger is they'll run those hearts. You know South doesn't have a good fit in hearts because they didn't support them. So you can see that they can run 5 tricks in hearts and they'll be able to discard all their diamonds. And you won't make even 1 diamond. So that was an example. Once you see a strong suit in dummy, that you need to switch to a much more attacking defense. Okay? And again, if I bring up GIB at that point, it will say that you can, of course, defeat the contract, but only if you lead a diamond at trick 3. Any comments on that? So that was an example of not playing a passive defense, but playing an active defense because of that long, strong suit in dummy. Okay, let's try another one. Here it's gone 1 heart, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 3 hearts. Pass, pass, pass. And let's suppose your partner leads the queen of diamonds. And you can see that seems like quite a good lead. You maybe give an encouraging signal on that one. They play another diamond and you take your king. And question for you now, there's not a poll on this one, but I'd just like your opinion. What are you going to play now? Have a little think about where you think the defense might gain some tricks here. Where can you make some tricks?
spade, ace of diamond.
Spade.
No, spade.
Spade.
The ace of diamonds is no good because Declare is going to be able to ruff that. Maybe your partner's got a high heart, the ace or the king, maybe not. But what you should see here is that long, strong suit in dummy, the clubs. And you know that the queen of clubs is either in your partner's hand, in which case it could be finessed, or in Declarer's hand. And that will be a strong source of trick. So just like the other one, you need to shift to grab any tricks that are coming your way. And in fact, this hand was played some months ago, and no one did the most on the defense. The best the defense can do here is to hope to take some spade tricks. So the normal card to lead there is a low card, which indicates you have an honor in that suit. On this one, your partner has the ace and can lead back a spade, and you can take 2 tricks. You might try another one, but Declarer's got the queen, and now let's just bring up the 4 hands, and you'll see that that's actually it for the defense, because Declarer will now just draw trumps, takes 3 rounds, and then they've got all those good clubs. Okay, so they'll make all the rest. They'll make 9 tricks here. You couldn't do any better than that. But if we go back to the point where you'd won 2 diamonds, if you don't play your spades, then those spade tricks will disappear. Because of that long, strong suit in dummy, Declarer's got 5 tricks there, and they'll be able to discard 3 times, and you won't make a single spade unless you attack. So again, with that long, strong suit in dummy, you need to shift to an active defense to try and grab your tricks. Anyone have any comments on that one?
Can I ask one thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said in this, we are just trying to defeat the contract, or we are just trying to save extra trick.
Well, obviously you'd like to defeat the contract, but if you can't defeat it, you want to hold Declarer to as few tricks as possible. And so that's why it should be obvious that you're not going to make any more diamond tricks, and your only possible source of tricks is spade. So you must shift to a spade after taking the first 2 diamonds. Let's try another one, see what you make of this one. 1 heart, here your partner bid a spade, and then it went 2 hearts, 3 hearts. So your partner starts off with the ace of spades, and your first question is, which spade are you going to play from your hand? It's not a poll, just a...
9.
You should encourage here. You should encourage. The 9 is the right card to play. You play high to encourage. Why are you encouraging? Because your partner may have the ace and the king, but may not have the queen, and they're looking for a signal for you as to whether you should carry on that suit. And here you definitely want to encourage. They'll take their king, and if they play another spade, you can now ruff it. Doesn't turn out it matters which you ruff it with. Suppose you ruff it with a jack. That wins the trick, and you've done a good job. You've taken the first 3 tricks here. Now my question for you is, what are you going to play back?
Jack of diamond.
Diamond.
Can you see that I really do not like leading either of those minor suits? Because I am leading towards the queens in dummy. Okay? I'm going to help Declara make tricks with those queens if I lead either minor suit. If I lead a low diamond, the jack of diamonds, or a low club, or even worse, one of those kings, I'm going to be helping Declara. So when you see those queens in dummy, you must realize you do not want to be leading away from your kings. You want to maybe your kings will stop those queens making tricks. So you should shift to a passive defense here of a heart, a trump. Play trump here. You're not trying to make tricks here, you're just trying to find a safe card to play. Declara now draws the last trump. Okay, he now cashes the ace of clubs and plays another club, plays the queen, and of course you're going to win that with your king. And now you have another question. What are you going to play now?
Club.
Yeah, a club. The same applies in diamonds. You do not want to be leading towards the queen of diamonds, away from your king and jack. So you play another club. Now, as it turns out, Declara can ruff that, but you don't care. You haven't helped him in any way. But whatever happens now, when Declara plays a diamond, if he plays the queen, you can now stop that with your king, and then you will just play something back, maybe a diamond back. Declara will win that one and will make 8 tricks, but you will have defeated Declara there by playing as passively as possible there on that one. Okay, any comments or questions? So on this hand, once you realize you've got those kings and you see those kings in dummy, that's a time you really want to be playing as passively as possible. All right, any questions on that one? I'm going to end with just one bidding sequence where you often need to play very passively, and that's this situation where South has opened 1 no trump and you doubled here. You have 18 points there and you doubled, and that was the penalty, and that got passed out. Okay, so sometimes when you double in that situation, you have a nice strong suit that you want to lead, maybe with a nice sequence. Here you don't. Let's suppose you lead the 4 of spades here. Down comes dummy. Your partner plays the 8, and Declara wins the queen. Okay, now that 1 no trump showed 12 to 14 points. There were 7 points in dummy. So I've got a last poll for you, which I'm going to ask you 2 questions. I want you to tell me how many points your partner has, and who has the jack of spades.
Can you just go slowly so we can count?
Yeah, so take your time. Don't answer verbally, and before I launch it, work out how many points your partner has. Okay, let's go through it. I've only got responses from 2/3 of you, but let's go through what they are. I'm going to share the results. So most of you have gone for 1 to 3 points. That's actually correct, 59%. Others have gone for 0 to 1, 0 to 2, or 2 to 4. And who has the Jack of Spades? You're actually evenly divided between East and South. You've said 45% for each of you, and 2 have said you can't tell. So let's work all this out. You may say, why are we bothering to do this? Well, it's often worthwhile thinking about, when you've got a hand like this, where all the points are. As I said, you started with 18 and Declarer started with 12 to 14. The way I like to work this out is I think that's 13 points on average, 13 plus or minus 1. Dummy's got 7, so that means Declarer on average has got about 20 points, plus or minus 1. In fact, they've got between 19 to 21. You've got 18 in your hand, and that means that your partner has got 1 to 3 points. So those of you who said that are absolutely correct. The second part of the question is who's got the Jack of Spades, and the answer is that South has it. Why? Because if East had it, they should have played it. East should play third hand high, and by them not playing the Jack, that means they don't have it. So you should know, after this trick is played, that South has got the Jack of Spades. So let's see how this goes. As I said, this kind of holding where you can tell that North-South have got about 20 points, you've got about 20 points. This is very much a kind of hand where you want to play as passively as possible. You've got these holdings of aces and queens, and you really don't want to give away anything by helping Declarer in those suits. So you really want to play passively here. Let's see what happens. Declarer won the spade. They play a heart. Let's suppose you let the first one go, and they play another heart, and let's suppose you win the second one. Now, at this point, you don't really want to play anything here. You don't want to lead a spade because we've worked out that South has got the Jack of Spades, and you'll be giving away a trick quite possibly to the Jack if you play a spade. We also don't really want to play any of our minor suits. Leading away from our aces there into what is probably kings in South hand, given that your partner's very weak, is not attractive. So you really don't want to lead anything here. I think probably the best lead is something that doesn't help Declarer, because they can always do this themselves, is to play another heart. The only problem with another heart is they'll cash a fourth heart, and you'll have to find something to discard. But let's suppose you discard a club here, and now let's see what happens. They now lead a diamond, and I just want to look at your partner's hand for a minute, because East, as you can see, they started with 3 points, and East, you may think that there's nothing much to do with the East hand, but you should realize that you want to try to stop your partner being thrown on lead. In other words, if I were to play low here and Declarer plays low, my partner would win with the 9 of diamonds, but then would have to lead away from one of these suits here, any of which could help Declarer. So a good defender will actually play the Jack or the 10 here. And now, of course, if the king is played, your partner can win. If Declarer doesn't play the king but plays low, you're on lead now, and now you're in a better position to lead than your partner would have to lead away from all their honors. In fact, a good lead for you now is a spade, and if you play the 9, it traps the Jack there. So your partner can play low there. If Declarer wants to win that, they have to play the ace. They can try a Jack here, and again, South might decide not to play the king here, but to play maybe the 8 or the 3, hoping that West will win and that West will eventually have to lead away from their honors. But you should just be able to defeat this contract now. You can take your 2 spades, okay? You can take your ace of diamonds and your ace of clubs. Eventually you'll have to lead a diamond and Declarer will make a trick, but they'll be held to 6 tricks, down 1 by good defense by you. And that one was an example of really playing as passively as possible so as not to help declare. I hope you can see that, you know, leading things like diamonds will help declare make a trick with the king. Leading spades might, and so might leading clubs. So this kind of bidding sequence where you're in one no trump doubled is often one where you need to play as passively as possible. Anyone have any questions on that? That was quite a difficult topic, I know. But just think about, you know, if you can see a reason to play actively when there's a long suit in dummy, or passively on other situations where you don't want to give away any extra tricks. So that's the gist of the topic today. I'll stop sharing my screen with you. Just before we end, is there anyone here who'd like to, who needs a partner today? Just remain on the call and let me know.